So I am Ravinder Reddy, and I'm going to teach you Oracle Integration Cloud, which is real-time training, and it is about 45 hours training, and it includes around 3 to 4 real-time integrations development, live development during this 45 hours time. And it will start from the batch start from January 8th, and it is a weekend batch. And the batch timing is 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. every day, every week, and every weekend, Saturday 2 hours and Sunday 2 hours. For previous batches, I took around 3 hours per day. Okay, it may you if you are having patience, then I can go with 3 hours pattern also, 7 to 10, 7 to 10. But since some of you are from EST, so that may not work. So we'll go with the 7 to 9. Okay, and you can note it down. I know you are all there in my WhatsApp group. Okay, and if you are not talking, please go on mute. So this in this course, first we will go with the introduction, which includes what is the purpose of the OAC. Please go on mute, please, if you are not talking. What is the purpose of the integrations, and why we need to go to the integrations, and some of the examples, real-time examples with hybrid systems I will be explaining in the introduction. And later after introduction, we will see how to create an OAC instance and ATP database and FTP how to create it for our classes. And the instance will be provided for free during the classes, and after that, those who are active, they can ask me personally. They'll be getting the instance. And I request everyone to not to share with anyone, because it is completely the Oracle gives only the credit of $400. So if you misuse it, and everyone will lose. Okay, so OAC instance, mostly you will be getting the doubt that how do I get. So we will create the OAC instance in the class. Some of you, I'll pick some of the students from you, and I'll create around 2 to 3 instances, and I'll share it with you. And after 1 month, I'll create one more 1 or 2 instances, and I'll share with you again. Like that, it will be continued for every month. And ATP database and FTP database, once you create it, it is lifetime. It is free. It is free. Okay, so no issues with this. Only the issue with the OAC instance. ATP and FTP, Oracle will allow you to use it till if there is no gap of 3 months. Let's say today you have used, after 3 months you are using, it will be automatically wiped out. So yeah, so that is about the creation of instance. And next, we'll create the first integration after creating the OAC instance, that is email notification with parameters, email body parameters, and HTML body. So the integration look like this. And here we will be understanding what is meant by variables, what is meant by actual variables, global variables, okay, and what is meant by email notification variables. Here, these are all email notification variables, and how they can be accessed in the body. And after this, here the body is simple body. You can go with the HTML body also. So that will be covered. And after this section, after this topic, we'll go with how to create a schedule parameter and how to create a variable. Already it will be covered in the previous topic. And how to go with the schedule parameters. It is similar to your concurrent program parameters. Schedule parameter is nothing but your concurrent program parameters. So we'll go with the what is the limitations of the schedule parameters, and how these parameters will be passed and how it will work. What are the limitations we have? All things will be covered. And the fifth is what is metadata? Like in your Oracle apps, if you are from Oracle apps, it will be having every AOL object. In AOL objects, we have some APIs to pick up profile options like user ID, org ID, manufacturer ID, and some of the fields that concurrent program ID, concurrent program responsibility ID, like that. We have application ID, something like that. We have so many APIs to get the data, which is a standard. Similarly, for a given integration, we'll have a metadata section. It will be common across the integrations, and in that from that section we can get the instance ID, we can get the URL of your instance, we can get the integration short code, we can get the integration short name, everything we can get. Yeah, why are you writing, guys? Yeah, I don't know who is operating it. Okay, and after completing this, we'll go with the I calculation and schedule the integration. It is similar to your how to schedule a BI report, how to schedule how to schedule a concurrent program. In the same way, we can do the scheduling here. And some of the scheduling is not possible through the plain scheduling. That we need to go with the iCal expressions. It is an expression, iCal expression. Okay, so these are the some of the syntaxes that we are going to execute on live. Okay, these are all the possible schedules that we are going to use in the real time as well. And I'll give some of the scenarios to you in the class itself, and you need to answer me. There are around 20 scenarios are there. 20 scenarios will be covered. And and import and export and delete and clone and new version and schedule. These are the options. Import in the sense how to import the integration into the system. That means it is import. If you want to migrate into another system, another OAC, you need to export first, then import it into the target system. If you want to delete it, how to delete it? If you want to clone the integration, how to do it? And in the Oracle apps also, we have an option called cloning, copy the concurrent program. In the same way, we can clone the integration as well. The name itself changed. That's it. And here the new concept is introduced. We can have with the same short name, with the same name of the integration, we can create a new version. I will tell very clearly what is the differences. And yeah, in the iCal itself, scheduling how it will be done, it will be covered. And coming to next topic, REST connection. So most of us, if you are from apps, you will be weak at this in this section, REST connections. So here, if you want to connect to a database, generally we need to take the TNS names and we need to connect to the database through Toad or SQL developer. In the same way, in OAC also, we have a concept called connection. We have a concept called connection. If you have a adapter, like it is similar to your SQL developer. SQL developer is nothing but adapter, and connecting to the database is nothing but your connection. So these two sections will same for any type of adapter and connection. If it is a REST or if it is a SOAP, if it is a Oracle database, it is ATP database or FTP, SFTP, whatever you take. Google, it will have a corresponding adapter, and we need to, by using the adapter only, we can create a connection. That is the only way. And in this after creating the REST connection, we will definitely understand what is the structure of the REST API, what are the possible scenarios we get through the REST API, we will see, and we will execute each and everything: get, post, put, delete. By this ninth point, you will understand how to use REST APIs clearly with parameters, without query parameters, and with the response payload, without response payload. Everything will be clearly executed in front of you. And how to create integration using REST APIs will be covered after completing these things through the REST Postman as well as through the OAC. And this is a sample example. This is not only integration we will be covering. We will be covering many things, but for instance, so I can accommodate one of the example here for showing you. Okay, for showing you, I'm just showing you one of the integration which is developed in the previous classes. And this complexity will be increased in the further integrations. Okay, and here we will see the operations through the Postman as well as through the OAC. First, you need to understand how it will be executed from the Postman for REST APIs, and then we'll go with the same operations from the OAC. And in the REST APIs only, we can create a custom. See, the post and put and delete operations can be performed on standard REST API, and we can create a custom REST API, and we can perform all these operations, whatever you want. So how to create a request and response payload will be covered for app-driven integration. This is nothing but your custom REST API creation. Custom REST. This is the only option we have. Custom REST. So this custom REST will be provided to the other third-party systems. They will invoke it. And they will send us the data into the OAC on a real-time basis. Let's say we have a Amazon. Somebody placed a order. When somebody placed a order, and we need to get the data into ERP cloud. That is my expectation. For that, what we need to do first, whenever whenever they place an order, somebody place an order, that should go and sit into OAC. And there, what we will do, we just simply create a app-driven integration, and it will give you the endpoint URL that will provide to the Amazon. And Amazon will invoke our REST API, and moment it invokes the REST API, OAC will get the data, and this data will be pushed to the Oracle ERP. It may be cloud, it may be business suite, whatever it is. So this is for real-time purpose. Okay, getting the real-time data from other source systems. It will be very clearly executed, and you will no need to worry about it. It will be crystal clearly executed in front of you with the real-time scenarios. And if you have integration one in your system, and you have an integration 2, like that, you have a 10 integration. Let's say n integrations. In all the integration, we have a common part. Let's say calling the BA, let's say calling one REST API, calling something. Some common portion is there. In BA report, what we do generally, can anybody, if you know, answer? Generally, what we do, we create a subtemplate. Here also, we'll create a app-driven integration. And we will call that integration from integration 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is the other purpose of your app-driven integration. So this will be covered very clearly. And part of the integration can be created as an app-driven integration that can be called in the integration 1, 2, 3, whatever, wherever you require. And that is through call integration action. That can be done through the call integration action. And after this, we'll understand what is scope, what is default handler, fault handler actually. It is not default handler, it is a fault handler, and global fault. It is exactly same as your exception handling. like how you get begin and how you have a begin and begin and in your PL SQL block. It is exactly, this is nothing but in OAC, it is nothing but scope. It is nothing but scope. Now here you'll be having exception. Exception. This block is nothing but your fault handler. Fault handler. And if something goes wrong in between these two sections, in this between this section, it will go to exception. But if something goes wrong in the exception itself, it will traverse to main exception, right? So let's say we have a one more begin end, one more begin end. So if something goes wrong in the exception itself, in the main, in the second block, so it will take you to the exception. This is common notation what we follow in the PL SQL. So what we call, this is called a default fault handler. This is called global fault handler. That's it. Please go on mute if you are not talking. Okay, so this will be very clearly explained and executed with real-time scenarios. So, and like user-defined errors can be raised in the PL SQL by using exception name and by using raise command. In the same way, we have one option called throw fault and rethrow fault. These are the two things which can be raised. We can raise the exception, user-defined exception in the OAC. It is exactly same as your raise exception. Raise exception is nothing but throw fault. And we will see these topics very clearly with examples and no confusion after completion of your topic. And next topic is ATP adapter.
Can you tell again the hello?
Hello, Prakash, your voice is breaking.
Yeah. So you told that read through. You told no. Once again, can you brief about that?
Guys, are you getting Prakash's voice clearly? Because I am not able to.
No, not getting.
He's saying, can you brief about the rethrow exception? Rethrow fault.
Can we?
He's saying, just brief about the
Rethrow fault.
Rethrow. Okay. So it is also a user-defined exception. So he's asking the what is the rethrow exception, right? I mean, some brief you need, right? Right, guys? Hello.
Yes, correct.
Okay, let me tell you. So something happened in the inside block and it went to the fault handler. Okay, so let's say begin, listen carefully, begin end, and you have exception, not exception. We don't have exception at all in the throw fault, assuming. So generally in a PL SQL block, what we will do, we'll do exception name, some exception name. Okay, this is what we do, and then we will raise the exception. And in the exception block, what we do when ex then, and we will do some task here. This is what the actual process we follow, right? So here we will raise it, right? It will go to this section. Again, if I want to raise it, just we will use rethrow. Got it? Then it will take you to the main beginning section automatically. That is nothing but global fault. You want to stop the process completely. Okay, you want to stop the process completely. Here, you want to stop the process. I don't want to continue. listen carefully here, what it will happen, what happened here. So now tell me, you declared it, okay? We don't need to declare it in OAC. Now what happened, once you reach here, now can anybody answer me, it will go to which section? Hello?
Rethrow action.
No, it will go to exception, right? And here, the moment I get exception, I want to stop complete process, or if I get any problem here, it will go to exception, main exception. This is called global fault here. Global fault. I don't want to execute anything. I want to stop my process. Then I'll go to rethrow fault like this. This is one of the way. And it is the why we need to go for the raise exceptions. In your while loop, you will be having exit, right? Exit. That exit only possible, and while you get something, or else if your PL SQL block returning some error through the out parameter, then I want to raise my user defined exception, and I want to stop complete process. That is only possible. Raise exception first, throw the fault, and it will go to the default fault handler, and then from there we'll use the rethrow. It will go to the global fault, and it will stop, and your integration will go into error. Otherwise, it won't go into error. Got it? Prasanna, did I answer your question?
Yeah, I got the answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. It will be clearly explained with execution. Okay, the same explanation you can expect in the class itself, and with execution, everything whatever I'm talking here, not only the theory, it will be completely POC based, similar to your real time. Okay, so now shall I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a sample integration, and along with we will be covering around 2 to 3 integrations on REST APIs that I am not able to accommodate here, but we will be covering another 2 to 3 integrations as well. And coming to ATP database, it is exactly same as your Oracle database, but it is not going to associate with any FTP server. Okay, so just it is autonomously process the data. That's it. And we will be using, we will see how to connect to the database, and how to connect to the database through the ATP adapter in the OAC, and we'll see how to connect to the database from your local machine through the SQL developer. And in PL SQL also we have some tasks like insert, update, delete, and procedure call, and merge with parameters, without parameters, without in parameters, and with what is timeout. All these topics will be covered. Insert, update, delete, without parameters will be covered. And this is very, very, very important. And we'll see how to call a procedure. We cannot call a function like how you cannot do it in the Oracle apps from the concurrent program. In the same way, we can call it here only procedure or packaged procedure. And we'll see without parameters, within parameters, without parameters, within parameters, the table type parameters. And we have a restriction in the Oracle Integration Cloud. We cannot, if the one procedure is called from the OAC, that should complete within less than 4 minutes. There's an entry question. What is timeout? Timeout means if the procedure called from the integration is failed to complete in less than or equal to 4 minutes, it will go into timeout, and your complete integration will be into error. And we will see how to avoid this timeout, and what are the best practices to avoid this timeout in the classes. And merge statement. Most of you may be knowing, may not be knowing merge statement, but this is one of the best option what we have got in the OAC. It is exactly same as your SQL merge. It is exactly same, no change. But The way we utilize this option is different in the OAC. And we will see how to create how to send a data into 3 tables at a time, and how to capture the payload into a table. And we will create a request payload and response payload from our end, and we'll create a big integration. Okay, and that is what the example is. And here also, for every topic we'll be having one integration. I'm not able to accommodate here, but every integration, every topic will have a one integration here. And these are the some example, but don't take these are final integrations. It may change from batch to batch, and depends on their questions. The complexity will change, but the flow will be same. The intention of my class will not change, but if there's somebody asks, what if something goes wrong? So I will tell them how to handle it. So similarly, for one batch, I will be covering one flow, another batch covering with another scenarios, not flow, sorry. Some scenarios will be covered based on your questions. Yeah, that is what I'm trying to say. The structure will be bit changes from batch to batch, but concept will remain same. So in this example, what we do is we'll create a 3 tables, headers, lines, and shipments, and how do we insert or update data. If the data is new, we need to insert. If the data is not new, if the already data is there in the table, we need to update. That is what the option of merge, right? So here similar kind of integration will cover, and here we'll cover for loops. We'll cover for loops here. You can see here for loop. This is the for loop. This is the for loop. You can see this is the for loop, and we'll cover some of the functions like concatenation, string functions like substring, instring, and date functions. Several functions will be covered. Switch condition and mapping conditions, and so many things will be covered in this add part of this particular topics. And the next, generic integration to capture the payload and log errors and send payload. This can be used. This is one of the project that you can reuse in your Oracle in your projects as well. This part you can use in your real time also. In your team also, they will create a generic integration that can be used to capture the payloads or log errors, send the email as a payload, or send the email when there is error. That pattern will remain same that you need to use. Yeah. Now, if you see here, the lookups, it is exactly same as your Oracle Apps lookups only, but the way we use it different. The way we create it is different. In Oracle Apps, we have a fixed columns in the FNA lookups, but here the columns and rows will be created by us. The column name will be decided by us. And we will see how to update that lookup from the front end, how to update that lookup from the back end by using REST API, and how to export the data lookups from the system, and how to import the lookups into the system. We will see. And we will see how to use the lookup for getting the last run date. If you have a transactional, if you have a what you call incremental data, let's say you are running the integration at 10:30 and next you will be running at 11:30. If you want to get the data between 10:30 to 11:30, last run date time to now, we need to capture the last run date, right? So if you don't have a ATP database, it is an interview purpose that will not happen in the real world. If there is any, if there is a ATP data, if there is no ATP database, then how do we achieve that logic to capture the last run date? So by using the lookup only, we will see that how that we can use. Next, we'll go with FTP adapter. FTP adapter connection and FTP is nothing but your WinACP connection, like similar to we'll be connecting here as well, and we'll see how to read the file from the FTP, how to write the file in the FTP. And Durga Devendra, please go on mute, please. And how to delete the file in the WinACP. It is something similar to your Unix commands, like your move file, okay, like that, and del command, okay. So similar to that commands will be from here. And the interesting thing is we can download a file from the FTP to OAC server, you can say. OAC also have some server mechanisms that cannot be accessed by us, but the file which is there in the FTP, physical FTP, can be downloaded to OAC. And it is nothing but list files is nothing but ls command, like how do you do it? But this is very, very important. Without this, we cannot perform this E operation. Okay, list files is nothing but it will list the files in a given server location, and it will give you the name and directory name of the file and directory name. Let's say you want to list the files which are having .csv in a given folder. That is possible through this one only. This is common practice, like how do you access the files through the Unix. And all these operations will be explained one integration. So this read will be explained through the one integration, this one, and like that will be covering all the topics. After that, we'll develop a one integration which is of real-time basis, and we'll get the files like in zip, and how do we unzip it, and how do we load the data into a table or tables, depends on the files. And after doing that, how do we archive it? Once we archive it, how do we make sure that second time we'll pick the same another file? Or like, for example, if there is any error while loading the data into table, how do we process the errors? How do we capture the process? How do we capture the errors? And how do we place that error file into a error folder in the FTP? That all things will be covered here. Exactly, it is a similar stuff what we do in your Archilabs. Exactly same things we'll be doing here, but through the integrations, not through the any Unix scripts. And now this stage file action. Next topic is stage file action. This is very, very, very important. Most of the people will confuse here. The stage file action is nothing but is similar to your Unix commands, but this is for OAC FTP server. This OAC will have some FTP server for sure, right? So if the file is there in the FTP of OAC, we can read that, we can write that into a separate file. We can zip that file, we can unzip that file, we can read that file in segments, and we can download the file. And I mean, this is for with the injunction with the download files in the FTP. So the read file in read file in segments. See here, it is read and read file in segments. It is something like you have a 10 MB file, you are directly reading this file. This is nothing but read file. You have a 10 MB file, and you want to read the file as 3 MB. First 3 MB, then 3 MB, then 1 MB, then again 3 MB, and then 1 MB. This is what we call it as chunk size. This is very important. Read file in segments means the same file will be read in a chunks basis, and this will be used for the file is greater than 10 MB. If the file is there in the FTP is greater than 10 MB, we cannot read that from the FTP. You need to download that file into OAC, and then we need to do read file segments operation, the stage operation, and then we can insert the data into tables. Okay, these limitations, everything crystal clearly explained with patience, and this will be around 2 to 3 hours concept. Okay, with POCs as well. And after this topic, I will be covering. This is a sequence that I follow for every class. This is a sequence exactly what I shown you on the PPT. This is a sequence. And if you see HTML tags for email body, this is a HTML tag for email body. This is the tags that I'm going to use in your class. And you can see here REST APIs. The REST API structure will be provided to you, and what is the purpose, and how do we create a URL and a URI. That everything will be explained with these examples and with execution. And if you see iCal, I said iCal, these are the possible things that I'm going to cover in your class. And I told you REST API introduction, that is not required. And if you see the same topics, REST adapter connection, and then GET operation, POST operation through the POST API, then through the OAC, and then we'll go with the app-driven integration and like that, and call integration. In this way only, in the same sequence I will be following in the class itself. So create database and insert update, everything will be followed in this way only. Okay. And here you can see here how to call the procedure, switch, while, throw, rethrow, generic integration, and these things I have already told you in the PPT. Okay. And this is about FTP, write, read, move, delete, list, download, and these are the POCs that we are going to do. And stage file action will be having these many actions, but among which we'll be covering only these things: zip, unzip, read file in chunks or read file in segments, write, zip and unzip also cover. And this is the POC that we are going to cover through the loops. After this topic, I will be covering SOAP adapter. It is exactly same as your REST. There is a, like, how do you have a interface tables and what you call APIs in your EBS. In the same way, we have another way to do the same task. So it is called SOAP APIs. We'll be having WSDL. That WSDL will be used to perform operations in the ERP cloud or whatever the target system is there. That target system will be operated through this SOAP adapter, SOAP connection. So we'll see here how to call a BA report through the SOAP API with less than 10 MB and greater than 10 MB. And after that, we'll create a connection in the OAC. And after that, we'll see how to get the incremental data from the ERP cloud. And we will see how it will work in the real time. And we will see how to create a integration with a common integration. It is a project 2. It's a common BA call integration where it will handle less than 10 MB and greater than 10 MB data. And we'll see next, we'll see how to call a ESS job from the SOAP UI and from the OAC. And we'll see how to call a custom BACC report, BACC, it's not a report, BACC through the SOAP API. And after that, we will see what are the integration styles we have in your system. We have seen we will see mostly till this point schedule orchestration and app-driven integration. And there are other types like publish to OAC, subscribe to OAC, basic routing, and file transfer. With the use cases explained very clearly these things to you in the class. After this, we'll go with the cloud adapter. Cloud adapter is what is the connection? How to be cloud adapter? Since we have a Oracle ERP cloud SaaS system, I want to perform AP invoices interface or items conversion, or if I want to perform employee conversion in HCM. HCM, it is not possible. Only the things which are related to ERP cloud, we will be using the cloud adapter. Let's say you want to perform something in the HCM cloud. You will be having the HCM cloud adapter separately to perform HDL, FBDA, whatever it is, whatever the operations you can do, that you can do through the HCM cloud adapter. And to connect to the OIC SaaS system, we'll be using these topics, these steps. That is, we need to create a user with the specific rules, and we need to run the LDAP program. CSF key is created. Then only we can access your SaaS system. And then what is the purpose of your SaaS CSF key, and how to do the testing with the single record from the front end and the back end using FBDA template, and how do we rectify the data in the interface tables. We're using ADFDI. And after that, testing is completed, the test records also available with us. Then we'll go with the job.profile creation. It is, you may not understand at this point of time. These are the steps that we need to understand. So in the job.property file, we'll be mentioning the standard program. Like if you are doing the item conversion, you will be using standard program called import items. So import items will have a job package name, job definition name, and it will have a parameters. So those things will comes under property file or manifestive file. So the package name will be, how do we get definition name, how can we get zip, how can we get, everything will be seen. And after after all these steps, we'll see how to create the invoice through the cloud adapter, complete flow. So this is about the cloud adapter. After this, we'll see how to create an integration by using AP invoice. I mean, I want to do an AP invoice interface through the to the OAC. So all steps, whatever covered till now, we will be using everything. We'll be using here FTP adapter. First, we'll list the files which are there in the system, and we'll load the data by using SQL loader. How do we do it? In the same way, load the data into tables. This is a complex part because we don't have a SQL loader option, so we need to do it. We have to design this very carefully. And after loading the data, and we make sure all the data is loaded, then we'll go with the package call to validate the data. And after calling, if you want to get the data, some data, like if you want to get a business unit ID against your business unit name, and if you want to get the term ID against your payment term, like that, whatever the data you want to get it from the SaaS system, we will call the BA report, and update staging using package. Once you do the call BA and once you do the validations, we will call cloud adapter, and we get the log files, and by using a BA report call, we'll get the errors, and update the staging. Update the staging. So this, and this we call it as get the log file from here to update the staging. This is called callback service. We will be calling callback service will be there. That callback, in the callback will handle all these things. That will be executed. It will be in your real time. You will take around 5 days to 10 days to develop this integration, and we will develop this within less than 4 hours in front of you without missing any topic. And you can confidently put this in your resume, and they will not ask you the questions out of this out of this project. And whatever the topics I'm covering, if you practice it, you will be in a position to attempt and clear your interview by your work. Okay. If you fail to practice, you will fail to clear your interview. That is for sure. And my request is you will get the quality of training through me and utilize it, and don't go for any proxies. Do it for yourself. Definitely you will get it. Maybe one or two you will fail because lack of understanding, but after that you will definitely clear the interview. And seriously, I'm telling, now in the market, it has a huge demand. There is a space. They are looking for the candidates who know EBS and OAC. They are and Fusion Technical. They are having high demand, very high demand. They are getting paid around 50 to 100% also. And yeah, you will get the same if you practice it very well. And if you go through my BA reports from your Udemy and this class, then that is enough to face any interview. Okay. Any questions? You can ask me now. This is end of my demo, and you can ask me any questions if you.
Hi Ravi, Saurabh this side.
Yeah.
Ravi, can we do a bulk uploading using this OIC?
Bulk uploading means what is your?
But like in my case, I am using SAS Fusion application, and in my case, sometime I got a huge data like uploading the project managers. I think more than 1,000 project managers. Sometimes we got update the expenses status.
We can do that.
So right now, what I can do, I have a APIs, SAS, SOAP or S. So I access those API using Java code, and just pass the CSV into the APIs and.
Yes, the same way we'll do it. But here, how do you get the data from SAS? What is the source of the data?
Source is a client, and they share the CSV file with us
Every day.
It depends upon daily or monthly. It's not a daily practice.
So through Java, you are doing it means you need to do it from the SOAP here, right?
SOAP or REST, I can both depend upon the what API is available.
Right. So same task we can automate it. We can automate it through the.
So there's no use of Java. Without Java, you can do the same thing.
I don't know Java.
Okay.
I'm a apps technical guy. So without knowing the Java also, you can develop.
Okay. Because there are some APIs in Oracle Fusion which have REST, and some of cases we have SOAP. So I think here both will work. So either SOAP or REST.
Yeah, that's what I told you. Here you will be having both REST APIs.
Because most of example you have given with REST API. That's why I asked.
No. I told you here, but maybe you missed it. Here you can see here. SOAP.
A SOAP adapter, yes.
Yeah, here this SOAP adapter means SOAP only. SOAP call, SOAP web service.
Okay.
Here you'll understand what is the structure of how it works and what needs to be passed. Everything you'll understand here.
Okay, because some of APIs like invoice status change APIs, so it will never return the failure status in case it gets failed.
That you need to handle.
Okay.
What we need to do is we will call the SOAP API, and once it will perform, it will give you status as 200K or
200. Sometimes it's 200, and sometimes it get the payload, different payload options.
Yeah, whatever success status is there, you need to observe that. If you get that, and after that you need to call a BA report, and you need to get the data which is updated and compare with your staging data, and then update success status. If it is not updated, mark it as an error.
Okay.
And see what is the issue, and
so I think we can say in OIC as well, we are not hitting the database directly, and we are using only APIs to get the data and push the data.
I didn't get your question correctly.
I'm saying in OIC we are using pushing the data or getting the data. We are using APIs only. We are not hitting the direct database.
We are directly hitting the database only, right? See, you're by using REST APIs and SOAP APIs, we are getting the data from the database, not from the
Yes, 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 yes. But through the APIs,
through the APIs only.
not the connection.
No one will have access to the database of
Okay.
SaaS system. Only Oracle owns it. Okay.
Yes,
we,
yes.
we can do that by using data model, or some of the companies have their own tools to connect to the database, but they cannot
Yes.
perform any DDL operations. Only select operation they can perform. Okay.
Yes,
And
yes.
that operation we can do it by using SOAP API. This one, getting the data from BI means we will create a BI report on top of your data, on top of your data source, and we'll call that BI report from the SOAP API by using SOAP API through the OAC or through the SOAP UA. Anything is fine. I will get the data.
Okay.
It is hitting the database indirectly.
Yes, yes. APIs are directly in the database.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ravinder, Srini here. One
Yes,
question.
Srini.
So can you, I mean, apart from the payables import, can you probably explain one other integration also, like items import? Or
Yeah. I'll be covering that. That one.
Most of your topics are related to the OIC side, right? So if you can help us understand how OIC actually integrates with the cloud, right? So that will probably help people.
That will be covered. See, this is the main intention here.
Right.
By this time, you will be in a position to do any kind of integration.
Correct.
Okay. And here I'm covering one integration. See, it is a real-time integration, not just theoretically. I'll tell you one line, two line, like that, not like that, right?
Right.
So by this time only we'll be exhausted. No, 45 hours with real time, and we'll spend every day 2 hours means definitely you will be overweighted. So for that I'm not covering. I can create 5-6 integrations also. That's not a big deal for me. But here what you need to understand is by using Cloud Adapter we'll cover one, and the another one is there. I have not mentioned here. Without Cloud Adapter, let's say you have a revenue module, for example. Revenue module will not supported by the Cloud Adapter, but still you want to perform interface or conversion through the OAC.
Okay.
That process I will cover. Okay. What if we don't have a Cloud Adapter? Cloud Adapter not supports your module.
Okay.
So yeah, that is a second. That is also one of the possible case in a real time. If you are working in a very rare modules.
Right.
So that I will cover. That I will be covering how to use REST APIs and get the data, everything. Callback service also, we need to build it. We need to build this. Cloud Adapter will not invoke the callback. So we need to explicitly create the callback service, custom callback, I can say. And then we need to get that data. So that is the entry question as well. That is going to be covered in your class as well.
Okay. Thanks, Ravinder.
Without Cloud Adapter, I'll cover without Cloud Adapter. How do we perform conversion or what do you call interface?
Hi, Ravi, this is Ashok. One question.
Yeah.
So this is kind of all inbound interfaces kind of a thing. So is it possible to do outbound interface also from this?
Yes. This is outbound only. Maybe the name I have not used properly, but this is calling integration, getting the data, incremental data from the OAC, SaaS system by using BI report call is nothing but your outbound.
Okay.
And we'll store it into a table, and we will do whatever we want. We can create a reports, we can do whatever we want. There are many functionalities are there. This is nothing but your outbound only.
Okay, Ravi.
Yeah.
Apart from integration cloud service, are we covering Visual Builder cloud service?
No, for now I have not planned. Yeah.
Okay, and one more, like for how many, like for what duration we will be getting the environment to do the practices?
Minimum till the class completed you'll get for sure, and after that 1 to 2 months I can able to give.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but you
Sure,
can create your own your instance basically. I will tell you in the class 1 how to create the integration cloud, and for free, not a cost. It won't cost anything. Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Saravanan actually. I joined
Hi,
just now
Sharon.
actually.
Yeah.
Hi. Can you can you please provide this demo recorded session so that I will go through it after today?
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Amar, Amboj, Ashok, Tatta. Anybody else have any
Yeah,
questions?
hi, good Simran here. I'm audible.
Yeah.
So just want to know, will we be able to get all the recordings of the classes?
Yeah. Let me answer your question. I have an app. Okay.
Mhm.
You will need to purchase, even if you want to register to my course,
Mhm.
you need to use the same app. Okay. That can be accessed through your mobile or through your app, through your mobile app or on web. So this is the app I have. It is ClassPlus, web.classplus.com. Go to store. You will see all the courses, whatever available here. Okay. And you can see here Job Integration Cloud, Oracle Integration Cloud. You need to register from here.
Okay.
And once you pay the amount, you will get the access to the content, and you can attend the class. Once you pay the amount, you will get one invoice that needs to be shared with me. Once you share, then you will go to store and content. You will see all the recordings here. Let's say I have covered, let's say IST OCT. This is October batch. Okay. You can access the previous batch videos as well. It is around 42 hours course right now. Another 3 hours is pending that I will cover. I need to cover. Even if you see here the cloud adapter, you can see here. This is a cloud adapter which I covered in the last class as per my sheet. And you'll see how you can access it right away. Okay. And this is for, and going forward, once your class starts, you will be having one more folder created here. That is January. Okay. January IST. January IST, January I will be creating. In that, after every class, 1 hour later, I'll be uploading that video here.
I'll be able to download it.
Download option I'm not giving, because see, people are selling the videos, so I don't want to go with that option. You can access it online. Yeah.
So like we can access it for the time period till we are doing.
For
the
now,
course,
I'm giving 2 years access, but later on you can ask me to increase the period. No worries. I'll give you the access as long as you need.
Perfect.
Yeah. And this is about my app, and you can access it anytime, anywhere through the app also. ClassPlus app. App is ClassPlus. I'll ping you how to register.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And so this is for better monitoring. I may not able to monitor the payments through the Google Pay and everything, right? So for security and for better management, I'm using this process. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. One question actually. How are the job opportunities for OIC? Any idea?
It is really nice. No, as an instructor, I'm not telling. Seriously, there is a huge space for the developers who knows EBS, and hope everyone is from EBS and Fusion Technical and OSC. It's a peak. I can say they are offering huge, and there are huge openings, because most of the people are doing, who already know, they are doing freelancing. One job, minimum one job they are doing. Okay. That means you need to understand what is the demand. And people are, they are unable to find the people with this skill set.
Okay. So OIC, Fusion Technical, and one more thing you said.
If you are from EBS, it's fine. If it is not, it's also fine.
Yeah, I'm from EBS only.
Yeah. EBS, I'm telling it's a first top one priority. Yeah, they are giving the top one priority because they might have the projects from both Fusion and EBS, or sometimes most of the EBS clients are moving to the Fusion cloud. So Oracle also implementing a lot of implementation projects on EBS to, what you call Fusion cloud. So what they're expecting is they want to write they don't want to hire the EBS technical separately. So we need to write the extraction queries and we need to put that file in the FTP. It's our responsibility. Once it is validated by the client, then we need to pull that data from FTP and put it into a SaaS system. So both the sides work we need to do. If you are not from EBS, then only way is you need to depend on the EBS consultant from the source system.
Okay.
So Ravi, Prasanna here.
Yeah, Prasanna.
Yeah. So are you providing any hard copy? Means like this Excel sheet? So via email
This
or
Excel sheet is for me only, right? Sorry to say that. You can write it down. Just spend for 10 minutes. You can write it down in your sheet. But this I don't want to share with you because this is a sequence that I'm going to follow. People are copying. That is what the problem is. People are copying, and they are starting new batches based on my. If you see one of the guy who exactly copied my Udemy videos, so I don't want to go with that problem.
Are you going to provide any syllabus for this or
Syllabus?
yeah?
Yeah. Syllabus I will be providing. See, if you see, this is the course content. Yeah, this is the course content.
Okay.
Yeah, I can provide you with this.
Yeah, that's.
This I will provide. I think I already provided with you, right?
Yeah, in that model.
Yeah, you can see everything, whatever I covered now.
Because I see a lot of videos here in Udemy, because you are providing some of the Excel sheet in like XML publisher and other part workflow. That's what I'm asking. What OIC?
Yeah, but you'll get the codes on daily basis through the WhatsApp only. Let's say in the last week I completed IST batch. Okay, if you see here, I have executed 3 integrations. Okay, and this is the API invoice interface lines, and these are the documents that I used. Okay, this I will share with you through the WhatsApp itself.
Okay.
After every class completion, and once the recording is completed and it is converted, then I'll upload into the what you call app. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. And course content already shared with you. If you want, I can share again. No worries.
Yeah, please share. It happens.
Yeah. Okay. In the WhatsApp online, you are there in the WhatsApp, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Okay, fine. But I request everyone to follow this notation. And I'll give you the payment link and go through that. And right away from day one only, after payment, you can access the videos. Definitely, you will never get this content from any of the institute, I can say. Okay. This is not just